2023 season, this is not his best year. I remember he was hurt in the beginning, and then for 4 weeks, he was awesome. And then he got hurt again. So does anyone have Burrow's MVP season on the board?
Oh, I do.
Nice.
Absolutely. Like, he wouldn't be my pick, but he's on the very, very short list. I think Burrow has been consistently underrated. And I think he's highly rated, and I think he's consistently underrated. When it's not just that when he plays, the Bengals win. When he plays, he puts up awesome numbers. He's scared of no one. He totally changed the trajectory of that franchise. Sure. And he's the only guy still playing in the league who we have seen consistently play his best when playing Patrick Mahomes, who is the standard. And so to me, if someone argued he's the second best quarterback in football, they have a great argument for it. And so do I think that it's Burrow will win an MVP at some point? Yes. Do I think that right now would make sense? Because I don't know how many years in his career after this one he's going to have 2 number 1 caliber receivers. Mm-hmm. He's going to have Chase, we assume, long term, even though the Bengals haven't signed him. But Higgins, we also assume this is last year there. Now they spent 3rd round pick on Burton, who they hope can turn into that. But still, now they have all 3 of those guys. Plus, if you read the reports out of Cincinnati, the Yoshavash kid, they like him a lot. So regardless, yeah, I mean, I think that is absolutely on the board. It's a brutal division, and it's hard to win MVP if you don't win 12 or 13 games, and that's going to be their hardest part. But do I think he's going to have MVP caliber numbers? I do. Do I think he's a great quarterback, and that's who wins MVPs? Of course I do. Yeah.
Anytime you have one of the best quarterbacks on your roster healthy, he has an opportunity to win season MVP. Period, point blank. Looking at this, all the things that you just shared are factual. Like, when we watch this young man under center and he is healthy, he's one of the best in the business. Clear cut, there's no argument against that. He is one of the best in the business. And he gives and provides this organization the opportunity to play meaningful football. Mm-hmm. When you play meaningful football, what do you expect of your best player? To show up and play even better. That's what he's always done. And so for me, when you have that type of an ability and a player that consistently shows that, when, again, big win, and if he's healthy, yes, this is on the board. Okay.
Yeah, that haircut to me screams, I've got another gear. You know, like, it's like last season he was unhappy with it, so he went through a breakup and changed his look. Yeah. And he talks about being bigger, stronger, faster. I believe those things, too. He's shown that he can perform in big moments. He's shown that he can slay the dragon, both things that you need from a guy who you're considering to be an MVP. And you get the sense that his bravado isn't bravado, it's truly confidence.
Yeah, correct.
That he's confident in who he is, and he's not trying to convince himself or others that that's who he is. That's what he brings to the table, and that's impactful to the rest of the group.
Okay, so it's really interesting to me because I have a pretty strong recollection of Nick Wright bringing down Joe Burrow, right? Like, pretty much kind of calling him out, saying that he's underperformed, that it was really only this one game that he was able to really beat Patrick Mahomes, and it was like the worst half of Patrick Mahomes' career or something. Like, you know, he kind of explained it away. He did not put it on Joe Burrow, said Joe Burrow didn't play good in the Super Bowl, said his injury could be life-altering, career-altering. You know, there's a great chance that he won't bounce back from that injury, that no quarterback has ever, you know, anyone who has a type of throwing profession who's had that type of injury has suffered serious consequences. Like, he threw out a lot of negative. I know that for a fact because I did a video on it. And I know Cincinnati Bengals fans were not happy one bit about it. And because then I said, well, listen, you keep calling out all these quarterbacks saying that they're not that good, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, etc., Lamar Jackson. And so then it's not that impressive if Patrick Mahomes is beating those quarterbacks. Like, I remember saying that very clearly. So now he's saying, no, he's great, second best quarterback. I think he's, you know, MVP's on the board, all this type of stuff. And it's just, it confuses me personally. But take all of the past takes aside, I do agree with what Nick Wright is saying. I'm just confused why he's saying that today. but then didn't say that essentially yesterday. So that's where my personal confusion lies when I see a take like this. But I do firmly believe that Joe Burrow, I am struggling to talk today. This is my first video of the day, and it's going to be a long day. I can already tell. Joe Burrow, he says, I'm better right now, bigger, faster, stronger. I actually wholeheartedly believe that. I've talked about this a little bit with J.J. McCarthy and his knee and the meniscus and how it could end up actually being a good thing, because when you get injured, you go, first off, you see so many doctors, you see surgeons, you see physical therapists. I mean, it's just on and on and on. And you start to learn more about how your body works better than anything else. Better than if you had a degree in it practically, because it's so much more intimately about you. It's about your body, your mechanics, what you need to do, your muscle imbalances. You can go to a physical therapist. I don't care how great of an athlete you are. They'll be able to say, oh yeah, you know what? You are a little bit weaker here. You are slightly stronger in this muscle than that muscle. Like, they have all these different things. Oh, you're a little extra tight here, which is pulling your hips to the side a little bit, which is then leaving your knee a little bit more vulnerable. Like it's crazy how in depth they can get. And you really only get that, honestly, if you're injured. Even a strength and conditioning coach, it will be limited in that retrospect. A physical therapist and a surgeon, for that matter, or just a orthopedic doctor in general, will be viewing it through a very different lens. And so I believe definitely over the years, because I just know from personal experience, like me getting injured so many times, especially younger, it's like I learned a tremendous amount in my body, and I did get bigger, stronger, faster, because I understood what it took to make my body bigger, stronger, faster, healthier, right? And so I believe that's what Joe Burrow has been going. It is the biggest silver line, really the only silver line for him getting injured. And so I do believe that. I believe he's probably worked on so many different mechanics and strengthening muscles that he didn't even really know existed. Realizing, oh, I hurt this part. A lot of times it's like if you hurt your elbow, you realize, well, actually that's more of a problem of like your shoulder or like your upper back. Like it's again, the human body is so complex that you just kind of learn that a lot of times any type of injury, it's actually like the musculature above that injury. It's just interesting. So I do believe that. I believe that there's a strong chance that he is coming back now, and he is just going to be just an animal, a beast. And that's really exciting. That's really exciting. And, a lot of these freak athletes are just people that have so much success. It's not to say that he didn't, do work in the weight room or do work to make his body in shape, but it's just anytime you get injured like this, and I think he's even said this, you face your mortality. You face the fact that you are not invincible. You face the fact that you're getting older, even if you're just going from 23 to 25, right? Like you just face the reality. You get really punched in the face of like, my body won't last forever. I have to take care of it. I have to get stronger. I have to avoid this situation. How can I avoid this situation? Take care of my body, right? Mobility, strength and conditioning, like all this type of stuff. And you face it, and it's a tough thing. But quite frankly, the earlier in your career, in a lot of ways, the better, because it can kind of set you up. Not everyone is as fortunate to kind of have this experience or have this knowledge really early on in someone's career without an injury kind of, triggering that for them. So I just think that this will have the potential, to trigger just a stronger, more serious Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow that's locking more on the smaller details, not just the attitude of like, yo, I'm Joe, because he's ridiculously confident. And it's not to say that he wasn't prepared before, but it's just like, I feel like confidence was kind of his guide, in the waters. And now it's more kind of like, no. I'm still going to have the confidence, and that can still be a foundation, but now it's really going to be strength, conditioning, preparation, above, in my brain, in my head, above the neck, as they say. That's going to be the compass of my journey. It's no longer just going to be confidence. I can't get away in the NFL on just confidence. Patrick Mahomes can't get away in just confidence. Right? You can do that in high school. You can do that in college. You can maybe even do that in the beginning of your career in football. But to really get to that next level in the NFL, definitely you need to put in more work. And it really seems like Joe Burrow is doing that. And to me, if you're a Cincinnati Bengals fan, that should be incredibly exciting. So yes, of course, I think an MVP season is on the board, especially just because, I look at these things as like, what do the voters want? Then what are the narratives? What will be the narratives that the media constructs and the voters? And if Joe Burrow balls out, brings Cincinnati back to the top, fights for an AFC championship, Super Bowl, oh, of course, right? Comeback player of the year, MVP, all that type of stuff. The football world wants to see Joe Burrow succeed. No doubt about it. They want him to succeed. He is not a player that people want to constantly try to find reasons to root against him, to pull him down. He's not very controversial in that regard. So that alone has a lot going for him. But those are just my thoughts. I would absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think? Do you think Joe Burrow has an MVP season on the board? And do you believe him that he is actually bigger, faster, stronger? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I would absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much, and see you next time.